Hello to all you beautiful people of the internet. Welcome to another character profile, and this time we are looking at Jim. From the looks of it, this is probably going to be another short. I don't know why this keeps happening. He is male, his hair is black, but he's balding. He is age 41, and before the apocalypse, he was a mechanic, and after it, he became a fighter for the Atlanta Group Survivor Camp. In Atlanta, Georgia, not much is known about Jim, except that he was born in 1962 and was a mechanic and had at least a mother and a father and sister. Between his family and a sister, between his family and his sisters, there were 5 children. After the apocalypse, when the dead began to rise, Jim remained generally unaware of this until the city of Atlanta, decreed a safe zone by the government, gradually started to become overrun with the undead. Jim saw his boss get infected and became one of the few who managed to escape from the city, as it was completely overwhelmed. However, Jim witnessed the deaths of his entire family as they shielded him from the zombies long enough to allow him to escape. Emotionally traumatized and devastated by the loss of his family, when Jim joined the survivor group just beyond the city's outer limits, he was noticeably the most taciturn member. I think that's how you pronounce it. Revealing almost nothing about his past and barely saying a word. During the zombie attack on the camp, after failing to kill one with his gun, Jim grapples with a zombie and flies into an uncontrollable rage, driving him momentarily insane. He beats the zombie to death with his gun while screaming and cursing at it for killing his loved ones. After coming to his senses, he finds the zombie had bitten him during the brawl, taking a massive chunk out of his arm. The next day, the survivors hold a funeral for Amy. Shane says he loved Amy because she always had something to say. Donna says how Amy and her may not have gotten along, but she loved her. She states how she loves everyone and that everyone loved Amy, especially. Jim has perhaps the biggest speech and says nobody deserves to die like this and that she should have lived her life and went to college. Rick and Dale also bring forth their sadness. While everyone leaves, Andrea is still crying over Amy's grave. Jim's health starts to deteriorate after being bitten by a zombie during the camp attack. Jim tells Donna about his garage boss, who he says was the first person he saw turn. Jim thinks he's lucky because his boss turned in a couple of hours. Donna suggests that maybe it won't happen to Jim and then exits the tent where Jim is incapacitated. Alan asks how he is and Donna says he is worse. He says Dale's wife turned in half a day. Lastly, they both think it might not happen to him. After a few days, Jim becomes increasingly worse from the zombie bite and realizes that he will soon die. He asks Donna to tell everyone his request. They bring him to Atlanta and leave him under a tree, where he tells them to leave him, and that maybe he will meet his family once again. Rick tells him goodbye. Everyone goes back to the camp. Left alone, Jim dies from an infection and turns into a zombie where he possibly reunited with his undead family. And fun fact, Robert Kirkman was going to star Jim in a prequel trilogy, but I don't think that happened. And that is it for Jim. Maybe this won't be a short after all. Thank you all very much for listening. What do you think of this character? And if you had control over his fate, what would it be? Do you think Jim was done justice in the TV show, or do you think they should have stuck with the comic route? Thank you very much for listening, and have a good day. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And if you don't like what you see, either leave a dislike or go away.